I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning. Ooh. I'ma keep winning, winning. You can try to save yourself, but you only go.
What's going on, guys? Jake came back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing the Patriots 7 round mock draft. And this is really one I've been wanting to do because, in my opinion, I think the draft really starts at number 4 because I think the top three is pretty much done out. It's going to be Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. I think we've kind of settled on that top three. And number 4 is really where it starts, where it could really go anywhere with all those three going off the board because the Patriots are really looking for Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. But before we get into it, please make sure to like the video, comment down below anything you agree or disagree with that I talk about in here, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for future NFL content. And going into this draft, I will be looking at the trades I get offered. Most of the time, it just probably will be this round one pick that I might end up trading down for. Someone tries to come up for a quarterback. And no matter what, even if Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter end up falling to me at number 4, I'm just going to base it off of that they've already gotten taken, and that's the top three, no matter what this top three ends up being. So let's go ahead and start it. I'm going to go ahead and go off that it's Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and that is exactly what ends up happening here in this situation. And we're going to look at our trade offers. None of them are really good. I think that's really what's going to be the actual situation whenever it comes to the draft. I think the Patriots in this scenario are going to want to trade down. Now, the only team I can really see moving up is maybe number 9, the Saints, maybe the Bears at number 4 to number 4 to try to jump the Raiders to get Genty. One of those two, maybe someone trying to move up to snag Mason Graham. Those are really the only options I'm seeing. But at this point, I really do think that if it's not the Saints, I think that they're really just stay and pick. I think that they're going to look to try to upgrade their offensive line and protect Drake May. If you look at their roster, their left tackle right now is Verdanian Lowe, and it really needs to be upgraded. They went outside Morgan Moses. They got Garrett Bradbury at center, so they've done their right side of their O line is pretty good. They still got Cole Strange, depending on how he comes out. They really just need a left tackle to come out and be able to take over that spot to protect Drake May. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of Will Campbell, but I do think this is what's going to happen if they take an offensive lineman. So that's who I'm going to take. I'm going to go ahead and take Will Campbell here at number 4 for the Patriots. I think that they're going to wait and try to attack more of that edge presence corner and mostly try to get a weapon in the second half of the first round or the in the early second round. They're really going to try to get a weapon then to be able to help Drake May out. But I think their main focus is going to be protecting Drake May, trying to keep him upright, trying to be able to make sure he's not getting hit at all in any of these situations, and make sure that he can stay up and make the right play. So we have a couple guys here that I could end up taking. Looking at this, I don't think Amarion Hampton would be there. I don't think Gray Zabel would be there. So I'm not going to take them because those guys are probably first round picks. But in this class, some of these guys could end up falling. And we could look to the interior, the offensive guard. Gray Zabel would be a very interesting. Tyler Booker. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this. If some of these guys would fall because it's kind of a gray area. I think Gray Zabel's pretty much a first round guy, and Hampton's a first round guy. But some of these guys could end up falling based on this draft order. Connerly seen as somebody that can end up falling. That could be a great pick. Maybe one of the corners as well, because we have a little bit until our next pick at 69. I'm going to go ahead and double dip on the offensive line and wait to get a weapon or a corner. And I'm gonna go with Gray Zabel. I know it's probably gonna take him, but if he's there, he's so valuable, especially for the Patriots, because he can play all 5 positions of the offensive line. He ended up dominating the Senior Bowl. He dominated the offseason pretty much. He can play center, which most teams I think are gonna pretty much draft him. He can end up playing guard in this instance if the Patriots end up taking him and double dipping on the offensive line. He would probably play left guard here and be an upgrade to help out Drake May. And then he could slide in there against Will Campbell and 2 highly rated offensive linemen in this class to be able to come in and have a huge impact. So coming in here at their 3rd round pick, I think that we're going to be looking for a weapon. Schweswinger from UCLA is a very good prospect, but our linebacker slots for the Patriots is pretty solid. We're not really looking to upgrade the offense, the interior of linebackers. We got edge pressure for Harold Landry, Milton Williams on the interior. So I think that we're really going to be looking for a weapon unless there's a really good corner that's falling on the board at this point. Darren Porter is a great option. He's still on the board. Looking at the receivers, I like Darren Porter. I like Beach. I like Noel. Both those guys. I think that we're going to go with the weapon here. Looking at the depth, though, you could potentially wait for Tej Johnson, but we could double dip on that as well. Cornerback. You know what? I like the receiver options that have kind of fallen here, and we don't have to wait very long. The receiver room has a little bit more depth. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Darian Porter. Darian Porter was the guy that showed out at the combine. He showed off his crazy athletic ability that he has, and being able to pretty much with a combination of his speed and his athleticism, he would be able to come in and slot right in there at that corner spot that the Patriots have. You know, looking at their cornerback position, they went out and they assigned Carlton Davis. They have Jenkins so at linebacker. They have Alex Austin at corner, Miles Battle at the right corner. Obviously, they got Christian Gonzalez. So I do think that they could add one more corner to that room. That would be a very solid option. And now we're gonna look at some of the wide receivers. Hopefully, that they fall. And look at that, none of the wide receivers ended up getting picked. So it basically comes down to Noel and Beach or Beck, however you pronounce it, whichever one. I think I'm gonna go with Jalen Nolan. Jalen Nolan was another guy. Both those Iowa State wide receivers are gonna be phenomenal. Whoever takes them in this middle half of the rounds, I think one of them's gonna go in the second round, obviously, and then Noel. This is more of a realistic spot of where he's gonna go, and it's gonna be kind of bouncing back and forth, to see where these guys have been going, especially with how closely rated a lot of these people are in this draft class. Any guy could go very high, or they can end up falling. At this instance, I think that we would be looking for an edge player. We already got our weapon. We could double dip at wide receiver. I wouldn't hate that. We could look at the running back market. I think that they could use another upgrade at the running back, even though they still have Ramondre Stevenson. And they still have Antonio Gibson. I do think they could add a third running back based on the value. Looking at the edge players, there's not a whole lot left. And then if we go to running backs as well, there's still so many running backs. So I think that we can wait on running back and take maybe even Ollie Gordon at 144. If worse, take Trevor Etienne, a late round flyer on a guy with a lot of upside. I still do think that they could add to their interior defensive line, but I think I'm gonna wait on that. I think I'm gonna go Ashton Gillety from University of Louisville, a guy that has a lot of upside in there in the middle rounds. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I do think the Patriots are going to be looking to add another edge piece alongside with Harold Landry. Maybe a guy that could have a lot of upside to come in and, be a rotational piece for them. And as we move on here, we are really hoping for one of the running backs to be there. Ollie Gordon is still there. I think this is the perfect time to go corner. Harvey, huge speed guy. Ollie Gordon has that success over the last couple years. He may be a little bit older though. I'm gonna take Ollie Gordon, the bigger name, over Harvey here to kind of get in that rotation with Antonio Gibson and Ramondre Stevenson. They could upgrade the running back position. There's been some talks that possibly they could end up taking Ashton Genty at number four, in the scenario that we just had potentially. But as of right now, I think we're just gonna go Ollie Gordon. Wait for that running back in such a stacked running back class. You kind of just you can wait and get a lot of value later in the rounds in a couple of the running backs, since it's such a stacked class. And looking at this immediately, I think we're gonna look to attack defensive line. We have three more picks left. JJ Pegas is another name that I'm very familiar with on the interior of the Ole Miss, defensive line. I think that we could look to attack linebacker with this next pick. Linebacker, maybe even double dip on one of the areas on another receiver later in the round, a guy that could have high upside. looking at the receiver position. So I think that we're gonna look here at the defensive line, mostly in the later rounds, just trying to go for value, getting a guy that you think can come in and be very effective and be able to potentially make the roster and have an impact and just be a nice little rotational piece. At this point in the draft, in the sixth, seventh round, if you get a starter, that's a hit and that's a great pick for that team, especially a team like the Patriots that just need a whole lot of talent. And I was really looking at Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame, and he goes 2 picks before me. So we're gonna go ahead and look at linebackers that we might have available here. Cody Simon would be a good one. Shamar James has a lot of upside. Cody Lindenberg is some guys I really like. Looking at the receivers, Lane could be an option. Lambert Smith, Jimmy Horn would be a great pick. I think that could be a 238 type pick that we might take. Jimmy Horn is someone that we're going to be targeting. And looking at the linebackers, I think we're going to go with Cody Simon to come in and add a little bit of rotational piece to that linebacking core. Maybe someone that could end up developing in the system and being able to take over for one of them linebackers. And then we're going to look. Let's go ahead and look at all first, see what we have. You still have Jalen Lane. I'm going to take a shot. And Jimmy Horn was a guy that was very productive in that Colorado offense with Shador. He ended up having a lot of great games. He's more of a late round flyer. And I think with the production they had in Colorado, I really do like him. I think they could come up and be another great option for Drake May that could end up, coming in with Jalen Noel. I know the Patriots in the past with the old regime with Bill Belichick didn't really have the best, time drafting receivers, but that's pretty much you're pretty much looking to try to get a guy that can come in and develop and have that high upside in the later rounds. So this is my overall recap of the Patriots draft. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments. We ended up going heavy on the offensive line early and then getting a couple skill positions that they need. This is really what the Patriots think that they need, in my opinion. They really need that just to get more talent on that team. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL, obviously. They just need to be able to protect and surround Drake May, and we end up doing that. We protect him with Will Campbell and Gray Zabel, 2 first-round guys. And then we come in and get our corner piece, so we end up in that rotation with Darian Porter. And then we go and get him some weapons and Jalen Noel, Ollie Gordon, and then Jimmy Horn at the end. So please make sure to like the video. Comment down below anything you agreed or disagree with that I talked about in here, any draft picks I took, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for future NFL content that I might be putting out. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, feel like John Morant. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats. Yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball. Now I never fumble. I'm the MVP. Now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant. Need a